So I've done all my background work now. I've done my research. I've asked a question. I've written my hypothesis. I've written down my materials and my procedures. I've got everything ready. I am now going to do the experiment. Okay? So you want to be able to do your experiment at least 3 times, or have 3 different trials. So if you are going to do the project, let's say about fruit, and which fruit molds fastest, all right, you would want to put together 3 different trials that are exactly the same. So maybe you made 3 different plates and it had the same amount of banana and the same amount of apple on each plate, strawberry on each plate, all right? So that would make 3 different trials, 3 different setups. Let's say I'm doing the project with the reaction between baking soda and vinegar and producing a gas to create or to blow up a balloon. If I was doing that, I would want to have 3 different experiments, 3 different trials. So I would measure 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and I would do that experiment 3 times. And then I would measure the 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and I would do that 3 times. All right. So think about your experiment and how can you test it 3 different times. Maybe if I'm doing my project, I actually have to create 3 different little density towers. Yikes. To make sure that I get the accurate results about which layer of my liquid is actually in the correct order and that the densities are correct. All right, so you're going to think about that, and then you're going to want to start thinking about your data chart. All right, so I put a little chart in here for you, and you might have to edit it. Okay, but I put trial 1, 2, and 3, so you can think about your experiments. Now, let's say I'm doing an experiment about basketball and shooting a basketball blindfolded or something like that. Okay, so I would want to do 3 different trials of that. Let's say I have my okay, I'll do how many shots can you make blindfolded from 10 feet in a minute. Okay, that was my experiment. I'm trying to figure out how many baskets you can make blindfolded. And maybe I made a hoop out of a trash can, and my basketball is really socks. Okay, you can use your imagination on your experiment here. And then I'm going to use the people at my house. So maybe I'm using my mom, my sister, and my uncle. Okay, so what I would do is I would put their names. Let's see if I can even let me edit it. Is it going to let me edit it? It is. Thank goodness. So I'm going to put mom in one, and I'm going to have my sister do it. And let's say my uncle is going to participate. Okay, they are going to do this 3 times. So your mom is going to be blindfolded, and she's going to shoot for 1 minute. And then let's say after a minute, she made 2 baskets. So you put 2 in trial 1. And then when she did it the second time, she only made 1. It was really hard, and she was laughing too hard. And then the third time she tried, she made 4 baskets. Okay? So she would try that 3 times. All right? And then your sister would try 3 times. And then your uncle would try 3 times. Okay? This is the tricky part when you're doing your experiment. All right? And usually in class, I'm there to help you figure out what your trials are going to be. So if you are stuck on this and are not sure what to do for your experiment, please give me a call, because I really would like you to be successful in this and have fun. Okay, so think about your experiment. How are you going to collect your data? What are you going to do? And then you're going to actually do your experiment. All right. My advice to you, please, please, please take pictures, because you can put pictures in your presentation and it adds a lot to your presentation when you can, when people can actually see what it is that you're going to do and what it is that you're testing. So if you are testing your fruit and how it's molding, make sure for trial one, maybe you're doing your fruit, you would put day 1, and then after the next one is day 2, and then you're checking your fruit after day 3. All right, and so you would look at each plate on day 1 and say, oh, the strawberries are looking a little soft today, but the banana's looking a little brown, but that apple looks exactly the same. So you would take some notes like that. And then on day 2, ooh, the strawberry's starting to water a little bit. The banana looks like it got run over by a car, and the apple has a worm sitting in the middle of it, okay? So try and think about what it is that you're testing and how you're going to collect your data, okay? And then I am here to help you figure out how to make your data chart, okay? So please give me a call if you get stuck and you want some help with your data and how to write down your data from your experiment. Go ahead and have fun doing your experiment.